It's one of the most expensive TV shows ever made, with Amazon Studios dropping $300 million on just 6 episodes for season one. And what does that get us? Well, one of the most convoluted, messy shows of the year. Let's talk about Citadel. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the new Amazon Prime series, Citadel. This is streaming all 6 episodes right now. And like I mentioned, a huge price tag on this thing. $300 million is nothing to shake a stick at. I think the only more expensive show, by episode is the Lord of the Rings show, which Amazon also produced. I forget what that was called, but the one they came out with last year, which was very expensive. And I think is Wheel of Time Amazon too. I think that's a pretty expensive show as well. So look, Amazon not shy about throwing money at these projects to hopefully entice people to watch them, make them look really great and slick and all of this, which I'm not sure that this always does. We'll talk about that. But look. Critics be damned, this is not doing very well critically. I mentioned, a couple of my thoughts in the intro there, but this has already been renewed for season 2. So obviously Amazon is seeing whatever results they need to justify that price tag, and they're going to move on with a season 2. But look, before we launch into my thoughts on this show, Citadel, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We do TV and movie reviews here, and I try to post something new just about every day. I've also got some handy-dandy playlists on the homepage for you to, just check out if you just are interested in my TV reviews. There's 2023 TV reviews, 2023 movie reviews, 2022, I think, in both TV and movie, and some other playlists as well. So, you don't have to go searching necessarily for certain things. But anyway, let's talk about this show, Citadel, shall we? So it does not look like a $300 million show. Let's start there. The Lord of the Rings show, you could see where that money went. It looked amazing. It looked gorgeous. This looks fine, but does it even look like a film would look? When you think about, okay, you're spending, if you break it down, that's $50 million on average per episode for this show, which is like insane. Like, for example, the House of the Dragon, the new Game of Thrones show from last year, that was a fraction of the cost of this, and I think looked about the same. I wouldn't say it looked amazing, but you would imagine there's a lot more CGI involved with that because of the different creatures and stuff. Other than some interesting locales and stuff, this to me is not like the be-all and end-all production for a TV show. Now, it was produced by the Russo brothers, who are huge in the Marvel camp. They've produced a lot of the Marvel movies, so you've got a great pedigree there for some interesting action sequences, etc. And we get a little bit of that here. But let me tell you a little bit about the premise of the show before we continue kind of down this path. But it stars Priyanka Chopra Jonas as Nadia and Richard Madden as Mason, and they are both agents for this spy agency called Citadel, and they are like very, very high-ranking spies. They are partners in the spy game, but they're also lovers. However, Mason's memory was wiped by the Bernard character, played by Stanley Tucci, and he's now trying to piece back together, what he can maybe remember, and he's got some really key information in his noggin somewhere, but how do we access it after his memory has been erased? So there's some things there. And as a result, we have a lot of flashbacks in this show, and then we go from that to the current day, and we see a lot of, different characters, kind of come and go, and okay, who's this person in the present, and whatever. All right, this is definitely like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith vibe kind of thing. And obviously, spy shows right now are super hot. But boy, this one is just a mess. I mentioned that in my intro, that what does $300 million get you? Look, it looks okay. It looks fine. Does it look movie quality? I don't think so. But for a TV show, I guess it looks fine. Priyanka Chopra Jonas is not a good actress. I don't think she's necessarily horrible, but like Richard Madden is fine. He's serviceable, but because of that, like the two of them don't really have chemistry. If at least one of them was like top notch, maybe we could kind of salvage something there. But Jonas is like not great. Madden's okay. They're not Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Let's just say that. Now Stanley Tucci is the shining star here, as is to be expected. Even in some of the worst movies and TV shows he's been a part of, he's typically the best one. He's great here, and he's kind of working with Mason to try and figure everything out, even though he's the one who erased the memory and all of this. But the scenes with him and Richard Madden are certainly the most compelling, like by a mile. But the plot gets bogged down with all of these flashbacks and the nature of the plot not really making a whole lot of sense, because we're sort of going through two different timelines, neither of which made a real compelling case to care about the characters or what Citadel even is. And I admit Stanley Tucci's character, and not just as a performer, I love Stanley Tucci, but the character is the only character that really lends some credibility to this entire project. Like the Richard Madden character, the amazing character, I don't know that I ever really cared about him. And we've seen shows and movies where people have amnesia or whatever, and I cared about what was going on. Blind Spot, okay, I tapped out on that, but I did watch it for a few episodes, and I cared about the characters and stuff. This is just a mess all the way around, and it's kind of insulting that we've just thrown this much money at something. I'm not the kind of guy who's like, oh well, this costs this much and I don't see it, whatever. But I am doing that a lot with this because it's so, the streaming services are crying now with the strike and everything. Oh, you guys are costing us so much money as actors. It's like, or are you just throwing money behind these projects that don't maybe deserve that price tag, right? And Citadel, I think, maybe kind of a breaking point of sorts, in saying how much do we really need to spend on a project like this. And then I'm not saying it would be any better or worse. I think my grade would be the same if it was made for half of the price or a third of the price. I think my take on the script and the acting and everything would still be the same. Yes, there's some cool set pieces, I guess, and I will admit there's a couple of cool action sequences, but for the most part, I just didn't care about these characters. I didn't really care about what Citadel is and what the Stanley Tucci character is kind of looking for, even though that was sort of the most compelling stuff in this. But this is just a mess all the way around. Convoluted plot, didn't care really about the characters either, and with the results from critics and audiences are like, I'm surprised it's got a second season, because people don't seem to be loving it. I'm certainly not loving it. I leave Citadel with a D+. But if you're interested, you can check out all 6 episodes now on Amazon Prime. All right, thanks for watching Dan Reviews It. We'll see you next time. Bye.